We live our lives surrounded by architecture. From the moment we wake up in our homes, to the offices we work in, the cafes where we enjoy a coffee, to the train stations that carry us on journeys. Buildings shape our experiences. Architecture speaks to us in a silent language, whispering stories of the past, reflecting the values of the present, and shaping the possibilities of the future. A well-designed building can uplift the spirit, inspire creativity, and foster a sense of community. Conversely, poorly conceived spaces can leave us feeling drained, insignificant, or even alienated. Consider the difference between walking through a bustling city square bathed in sunlight and adorned with fountains and sculptures versus navigating a dimly lit, cramped alleyway. The former invites us to linger, connect, and engage with our surroundings, while the latter compels us to hurry through, heads down, seeking escape. Architecture, in its essence, is more than just bricks and mortar. It is the art of shaping human experience. This interplay between architecture and human emotion becomes even more profound when we consider spaces designed for worship and spiritual reflection. Churches throughout history have served as powerful expressions of faith, testaments to human ingenuity and enduring symbols of hope. Their soaring arches, intricate carvings, and breathtaking stained glass windows have inspired awe and wonder in generations of believers and non-believers alike. These sacred spaces, often meticulously crafted over decades, even centuries, stand as testaments to the enduring human desire to connect with something larger than ourselves, to seek solace in beauty, and to find meaning in the world around us. The architecture of a society reveals its values, aspirations, and beliefs. Cultures throughout history have poured their hearts into creating sacred spaces that reflect their faith and relationship with the divine. These structures are tangible expressions of a community's shared identity and understanding of the cosmos. The legacy of these architectural marvels continues to resonate, reminding us of the enduring human need to connect with something greater. The history of Christian church architecture reflects the evolving relationship between faith, culture, and artistic expression. Early Christian worship spaces were often simple, hidden in catacombs, or adapted from Roman structures. These spaces emphasized creating a haven for prayer and community. As Christianity gained acceptance, church architecture reflected its newfound status. The basilica became the model for many early Christian churches. These basilicas guided the worshipper's gaze towards the altar. The Byzantine Empire developed a distinctive style with soaring domes and intricate mosaics. The Hagia Sophia stands as a testament to Byzantine artistic and technological achievements. Emerging from the Dark Ages, Europe saw the rise of Romanesque architecture reflecting the Church's power and spiritual refuge. Characterized by massive walls, rounded arches, and small windows, these churches symbolized strength and faith. Their dimly lit interiors created a sense of mystery, focusing worshippers on the altar and rituals. Monasteries flourished, becoming centers of learning and community life. The Romanesque style laid the foundation for the Gothic era's architectural advancements. The transition from the Romanesque to the Gothic style marked a profound shift in architectural thinking and spiritual aspiration. Gothic architecture, which emerged in 12th century France, rejected the heavy earthbound aesthetic of its predecessor in favor of a style that emphasized height, light, and a sense of upward movement, as if the very stones themselves were striving to reach heavenward. This dramatic shift was driven by a number of factors, including advances in engineering and construction techniques, as well as a growing fascination with the natural world and the symbolic potential of light. The invention of the pointed arch, the rib vault and the flying buttress allowed Gothic architects to create structures of unprecedented height and slenderness. The pointed arch, unlike the rounded arch of the Romanesque period, could distribute weight more effectively, allowing for thinner walls and larger windows. Rib vaults, a system of intersecting arches that formed a skeletal framework for the ceiling, further reduced the need for massive walls, creating a sense of lightness and openness. Flying buttresses, external arches that transferred the weight of the roof and walls to massive piers, allowed for even larger windows and thinner walls, creating the impression that the building was almost weightless, defying gravity in its pursuit of the heavens. This emphasis on verticality was not merely an aesthetic choice, it reflected a deep theological belief in the transcendence of God and the human soul's yearning for union with the divine. Gothic cathedrals, with their soaring spires and intricate tracery, became powerful symbols of faith, inspiring awe and wonder in all who entered their sacred precincts. The Gothic era embraced light, colour and beauty. Stained glass windows transformed cathedrals into kaleidoscopes of colour, illuminating biblical stories for the faithful. These masterpieces, created by skilled artisans, were powerful expressions of faith, casting an ethereal glow that inspired worshippers. Light in Gothic cathedrals was central to the spiritual experience, symbolizing God's presence and divine grace. The soaring heights and vast stained glass maximized natural light, creating an ethereal atmosphere. This interplay of light and shadow enhanced the spiritual experience, lifting the soul heavenward. Gothic architecture's use of light, space, and symbolism evokes the transcendent. Church design creates spaces for divine encounters, deepening faith and community. Architects guide visitors through scale, light, and materiality, preparing hearts and minds for prayer and reflection. The building itself becomes an unspoken liturgy, guiding worshippers on a spiritual journey. Church architecture enhances the spiritual experience by creating space for silence and contemplation. In a noisy world, churches offer a sanctuary for stillness. The vast spaces of a cathedral, the intimacy of a small chapel, and the serenity of a cloistered garden invite us to be present. Church architecture evokes awe through ornamentation, color, and light. The challenge is balancing visual stimulation with spiritual reflection. Stained glass windows and intricate carvings engage the senses, inviting contemplation. Light and natural materials like stone and wood create a timeless, sensory-rich experience. The use of light can dramatically alter the atmosphere, creating mystery or grandeur. Section 4. The divine in the details, craftsmanship and spirituality. In the creation of sacred spaces, the smallest details can often have the most profound impact. The careful selection of materials, the quality of craftsmanship, the attention to detail in every aspect of the design. All these elements contribute to the overall sense of reverence and respect that permeates a well-designed church. For centuries, the creation of churches and cathedrals was seen as a sacred act, a labor of love undertaken by skilled artisans who poured their hearts and souls into their work. The stonemasons, carpenters, glaziers, and other craftspeople who built these structures saw themselves as co-creators with God, using their talents to create something beautiful and enduring for the glory of God and the edification of the faithful. This sense of craftsmanship as a spiritual practice is evident in the intricate carvings, the hand-painted murals, the carefully crafted liturgical objects that adorn many historic churches. Even in more modern churches, where the use of industrial materials and construction techniques is commonplace, the attention to detail, and the quality of craftsmanship can still convey a sense of care, respect, and reverence for the sacred. The way in which materials are joined together, the finish of surfaces, the selection of hardware and fixtures, all these details can contribute to the overall sense of harmony and beauty that characterizes a well-designed space. In the context of a church, even the most mundane elements can take on a spiritual significance when they are crafted with care and attention. Section 1. Modern Sacred Spaces. A Tapestry of Styles. The 20th and 21st centuries have witnessed a remarkable period of experimentation and innovation in church architecture. The modernist movement, with its emphasis on functionality, simplicity, and the use of new materials, had a profound impact on the design of sacred spaces, leading to a dramatic departure from the traditional forms and styles of the past. Yet even as architects embraced new technologies and design principles, they continued to grapple with the fundamental challenge of creating spaces that inspire awe, reverence, and a sense of connection with the divine. One of the defining characteristics of modern church architecture is its diversity, from the soaring concrete shells of Oscar Niemeyer's Cathedral of Brasilia to the humble simplicity of Tadao Ando's Church of the Light. Contemporary architects have explored a wide range of styles and approaches, drawing inspiration from a variety of sources, including abstract art, nature, and the vernacular traditions of different cultures. This eclecticism reflects the pluralism of contemporary society and the evolving nature of religious belief itself. Despite their stylistic differences, many modern churches share a common desire to create spaces that are both functional and spiritually uplifting. Architects have experimented with new ways of using light, space, and materials to create environments that foster contemplation, community, and a sense of the transcendent. The use of natural light, for example, remains a central concern for many architects, who have developed innovative ways of filtering, reflecting, and directing sunlight to create a sense of drama and spiritual resonance. Section 2. Light in the Concrete, the Churches of Le Corbusier. Few architects have had as profound an impact on the 20th century as Le Corbusier, the Swiss-French pioneer of modernism. Known for his bold use of concrete geometric forms and his belief in the power of architecture to shape society, Le Corbusier also designed a number of churches that stand as powerful examples of his architectural philosophy. One of his most famous sacred spaces is the Chapel of Notre-Dame du Haut in Ronchamp, France, completed in 1955. Perched atop a hill overlooking the French countryside, the chapel's sculptural form, with its thick curving walls and a roof that appears to float above the ground, bears little resemblance to traditional church architecture. Yet despite its unconventional appearance, the chapel is a space of profound spirituality, its design carefully calibrated to evoke a sense of awe and wonder. Le Corbusier used light as his primary building material, manipulating it in a variety of ways to create a dynamic and ever-changing interplay of light and shadow within the interior. Small, irregularly shaped windows, some filled with stained glass, pierce the thick walls, casting beams of colored light that dance across the rough-hewn surfaces, their intensity and position shifting throughout the day. The effect is both dramatic and contemplative, creating a sense of mystery and transcendence. Le Corbusier's chapel at Ronchamp demonstrates that modern architecture, even in its most abstract forms, can still evoke a sense of the sacred and provide a powerful setting for spiritual experience. While Le Corbusier's churches often emphasize the geometric purity of modernism, other architects have found inspiration in the organic forms of nature, seeking to create spaces that resonate with the rhythms and patterns of the natural world. One of the most prominent practitioners of this approach is the Japanese architect Tadao Ando, known for his minimalist concrete structures that often incorporate natural elements such as light, water, and air. Ando's Church of the Light, completed in 1989 in Ibaraki, Japan, is a stunning example of his ability to create a sense of the sacred through the simplest of means. The church, a rectangular concrete box, is pierced by a single cruciform-shaped opening in the wall behind the altar. As the sun moves across the sky, the light streaming through this opening creates a dramatic cross of light on the opposite wall, its intensity and position changing throughout the day. This simple yet powerful gesture transforms the space, imbuing it with a sense of mystery and spiritual significance. Ando's work demonstrates that modern architecture at its best can be both deeply moving and profoundly spiritual, even in its simplicity. By stripping away unnecessary ornamentation and focusing on the interplay of light, space, and materiality, Ando creates spaces that invite contemplation, silence, and a sense of connection with something larger than ourselves. While some modern architects have sought to create universal forms of sacred space, others have emphasized the importance of responding to the specific cultural and geographical context of a particular place. This approach, often referred to as contextual modernism, seeks to create buildings that are both modern in their design sensibility and rooted in the traditions and materials of their surroundings. One architect who has excelled in this approach is the Sri Lankan architect Geoffrey Bawa, whose work often blends modernist principles with elements of traditional Sri Lankan architecture. Bawa's churches, such as the St. Bridget's Montessori School Chapel in Colombo, Sri Lanka, demonstrate his sensitivity to local climate, materials, and building traditions. The chapel, completed in 1963, features a simple, rectangular plan with a pitched roof, a common feature in Sri Lankan architecture, but its use of exposed concrete and large open spaces reflects a modernist sensibility. Bawa's churches are not mere pastiches of traditional styles, rather, they represent a thoughtful synthesis of old and new, creating spaces that are both modern and rooted in their context. This approach to church architecture recognizes that the sacred is not confined to a particular style or historical period, but can be expressed in a variety of ways that resonate with the specific culture and environment of a place.
I'm not a writer.
Okay.
The changing nature of religious practice in the 20th and 21st centuries has also had a significant impact on the design of churches. As traditional religious affiliations have declined in many parts of the world, churches are increasingly called upon to serve a wider range of community needs, becoming not just places of worship but also centers for social gathering, education, and outreach. This shift in function has led to a more flexible and adaptable approach to church design. Architects are now tasked with creating spaces that can accommodate a variety of activities, from traditional worship services to community meals, concerts, and even farmers' markets. This often involves designing spaces that can be easily reconfigured with movable walls, flexible seating arrangements, and adaptable lighting and sound systems. The church as a community center often blurs the boundaries between sacred and secular space, creating a more welcoming and inclusive environment for people of all faiths and backgrounds. This approach reflects a growing understanding that the sacred is not confined to the walls of a church building, but can be found wherever people gather to connect with something larger than themselves, whether it be through faith, art, music, or simply the act of sharing a meal together. Section 6. Sustainability and Spirituality, Building for the Future. As awareness of climate change and the need for environmental responsibility grows, sustainability has become an increasingly important consideration in church architecture. Architects are now exploring ways to design churches that are not only beautiful and functional but also environmentally responsible, using sustainable materials, minimizing energy consumption, and reducing their overall ecological footprint. This focus on sustainability is often seen as an extension of the Church's mission to care for creation and promote social justice. By designing churches that are energy efficient, use recycled and locally sourced materials, and incorporate green building practices, churches can model environmental stewardship and inspire their congregations to live more sustainably. Some churches are even going beyond simply reducing their environmental impact and are actively seeking to restore and enhance the natural environment around them. This might involve creating rain gardens to manage stormwater runoff, planting native trees and shrubs to provide habitat for wildlife, or installing solar panels to generate renewable energy. These efforts reflect a growing understanding that caring for the planet is not just an environmental issue, but also a spiritual one, an essential aspect of living out one's faith in the modern world. Section 7. The challenge of authenticity in a postmodern age. In a postmodern age characterized by eclecticism, irony, and a questioning of traditional values, the design of sacred spaces presents particular challenges. How can architects create spaces that evoke a sense of the sacred in a culture that often seems ambivalent about, or even hostile to, organized religion? How can churches maintain a sense of authenticity and tradition, while also remaining relevant to the lives of contemporary worshippers? One approach has been to embrace the pluralism and diversity of postmodern culture, creating spaces that are welcoming and inclusive to people of all backgrounds and beliefs. This might involve incorporating elements from different religious traditions, using abstract or non-representational imagery, or creating spaces that are open to multiple interpretations. The goal is to create a space that is both sacred and welcoming, a place where people can connect with something larger than themselves regardless of their specific beliefs. Another approach has been to rediscover the power of simplicity and authenticity, stripping away unnecessary ornamentation and focusing on the essential elements of sacred space: light, space, materiality, and silence. This approach often draws inspiration from early Christian architecture, with its emphasis on simplicity, functionality, and a direct connection to the natural world. By returning to the roots of Christian architecture, architects hope to create spaces that are both timeless and timely, relevant to the needs of contemporary worshippers, while also connecting them to a long tradition of faith. Section 8. The power of place creating sacred landscapes. The design of sacred spaces extends beyond the walls of the church building itself. The surrounding landscape, whether it be a bustling city block or a serene rural setting, plays a crucial role in shaping the spiritual experience. Architects are increasingly recognizing the importance of integrating churches into their surroundings, creating a seamless transition between the sacred and the secular, the built and the natural. This might involve creating courtyards, gardens, or other outdoor spaces that provide opportunities for contemplation, reflection, and connection with nature. The use of water features, such as fountains or reflecting pools, can also enhance the spiritual atmosphere, evoking themes of purification, renewal, and the presence of the divine. The design of the landscape can also serve to connect the church to the surrounding community, creating welcoming entrances, providing seating areas for contemplation or conversation, and incorporating elements that reflect the local history or culture can all help to make the church a more inviting and integrated part of the neighborhood. By thinking beyond the walls of the church building, architects can create sacred landscapes that nourish the soul, foster community, and enhance the spiritual experience. Looking ahead, the future of church architecture is likely to be as diverse and dynamic as the religious landscape itself. As traditional religious affiliations continue to evolve, churches will need to adapt to the changing needs of their congregations and the communities they serve. This will require architects to be innovative, responsive, and deeply attuned to the spiritual aspirations of the people they are designing for. New technologies such as three-dimensional printing, virtual reality, and sustainable building materials will undoubtedly shape the churches of the future, offering new possibilities for creating spaces that are both functional and inspiring. Yet amidst these technological advancements, it will be important to remember the timeless principles that have guided the design of sacred spaces for centuries: the power of light, the importance of silence, the evocative potential of materiality, and the enduring human need for connection, community, and transcendence. The churches of the future will likely be as varied as the communities they serve, reflecting a diversity of styles, traditions, and beliefs. Yet what will unite them is the fundamental human desire to create spaces that inspire awe, reverence, and a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves. Spaces that remind us of the sacredness of life, the power of beauty, and the enduring human search for meaning and belonging. Beyond the threshold, the impact of a beautifully designed church extends far beyond its physical walls. These structures, often standing for centuries, become woven into the very fabric of civic life. They are more than just places of worship. They are landmarks and symbols of shared history. The presence of a beautiful church can elevate the spirit of a neighborhood and foster a sense of belonging. Imagine a town square dominated by the graceful spire of a Gothic cathedral, or picture a modern church with its welcoming plaza, a hub of activity. These spaces transcend their religious function to become vital centers of community life. Beyond their physical presence, beautiful churches also exert a powerful symbolic influence on their communities. In times of crisis, uncertainty, or social upheaval, they can serve as beacons of hope, resilience, and enduring values. The image of a church spire rising above the rubble of a disaster-stricken town, or the sight of a community gathering for solace and support within the familiar embrace of their church, speaks volumes about the enduring human need for faith, community, and a sense of continuity in the face of adversity. Consider the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, its iconic silhouette a symbol of French history, culture, and resilience. When fire ravaged its roof and spire in 2019, the outpouring of grief and determination to rebuild from around the world testified to the cathedral's significance as more than just a religious building. It was a symbol of hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. This symbolic power of churches extends beyond times of crisis. The very presence of a beautiful church in a community can serve as a constant reminder of values such as compassion, forgiveness, and the importance of looking beyond the material world. Their open doors invite reflection, contemplation, and a sense of peace that can be a balm in a world often characterized by stress, uncertainty, and division. In this way, beautiful churches can serve as silent yet powerful advocates for a more humane, compassionate, and just society. The impact of beautiful churches on culture extends far beyond the realm of religion and spirituality. Throughout history, churches have served as patrons of the arts, inspiring generations of artists, musicians, writers, and architects with their beauty, grandeur, and spiritual aspirations. From the soaring polyphony of Renaissance choral music composed for the great cathedrals of Europe to the vibrant murals and mosaics that adorn churches around the world, these sacred spaces have provided both inspiration and a canvas for artistic expression. The very act of constructing a beautiful church often served as a catalyst for artistic innovation and the development of new technologies. The challenges of spanning vast spaces, crafting intricate stone carvings, or creating luminous stained glass windows pushed the boundaries of engineering, craftsmanship, and artistic vision. The knowledge and skills developed during the construction of these magnificent structures were then disseminated throughout society, influencing the development of secular architecture, engineering, and the arts. Even today, churches continue to inspire artists and architects who find in these sacred spaces a rich source of inspiration for exploring themes of light, space, materiality, and the human search for meaning. The interplay of light and shadow in a Gothic cathedral, the quiet serenity of a Zen Buddhist temple, the vibrant colors and patterns of a Byzantine mosaic, these elements continue to captivate the imagination and inspire new forms of artistic expression across cultures and across time. Many beautiful churches, particularly those with a long and storied history, become destinations for pilgrims and tourists alike, drawing visitors from around the world who come to marvel at their architectural splendor, experience their spiritual ambience, and connect with the history they embody. These visitors not only contribute to the local economy but also help to ensure the continued preservation of these architectural treasures for future generations. The act of pilgrimage, of journeying to a sacred site, is as old as human history itself. For centuries, people have embarked on long and arduous journeys to visit sites of religious significance, seeking spiritual renewal, healing, or a deeper connection to their faith. Churches and cathedrals, with their rich history, architectural grandeur, and spiritual aura, have long been focal points of pilgrimage. The preservation of these historic churches is essential not only for their religious and cultural significance, but also for their value as works of art, testaments to human ingenuity and irreplaceable links to the past. The intricate carvings, the vibrant mosaics, the soaring arches and vaulted ceilings, these elements tell a story of faith, artistry, and human aspiration that transcends time and place. Preserving these structures ensures that future generations will have the opportunity to experience their beauty, contemplate their history, and draw inspiration from the faith and artistry they embody. The language of beauty in architecture, particularly in the context of sacred spaces, has a remarkable ability to transcend cultural and religious boundaries. A visitor need not be a Christian to appreciate the soaring grandeur of a Gothic cathedral, the serene simplicity of a Quaker meeting house, or the intricate details of a Hindu temple. The emotions these spaces evoke, awe, wonder, peace, contemplation, are universal, transcending specific doctrines or belief systems. This shared language of beauty offers a powerful means of fostering interfaith dialogue and understanding. When people of different faiths come together to appreciate the beauty of a sacred space, they are engaging in a form of silent conversation, recognizing the shared human impulse to create spaces that inspire, elevate, and connect us to something larger than ourselves. This ability of architecture to foster understanding and appreciation across cultural divides is particularly important in today's world, where religious intolerance and conflict remain pressing concerns. Beautiful churches, by virtue of their universal appeal and their ability to inspire awe and wonder, can serve as bridges between communities, reminding us of our shared humanity and our capacity for creativity, compassion, and a sense of the transcendent. Beautiful churches not only provide a sense of solace and spiritual nourishment for individuals, but also create a context for communities to grow stronger and more vibrant. The act of gathering in a shared space, united by a common purpose or belief, can foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and mutual support that transcends the individual experience. The design of a church can play a significant role in fostering this sense of community, creating welcoming entrances, providing spaces for gathering and socializing before or after services, and incorporating elements that encourage interaction and connection can all contribute to a more vibrant and engaged community. Many modern churches are incorporating features such as cafes, bookstores, and community rooms into their designs, recognizing the importance of creating spaces where people can connect with one another on multiple levels, not just through formal worship. This sense of community fostered within the walls of a church can extend far beyond its immediate congregation, impacting the wider community through outreach programs, social justice initiatives, and acts of service. Churches have historically played a vital role in supporting the poor, the sick, and the marginalized, and this legacy of compassion and social responsibility continues to inspire communities around the world. As societies become increasingly diverse and pluralistic, it is essential that the design of sacred spaces reflects this inclusivity, creating welcoming and accessible environments for people of all backgrounds, abilities, and beliefs. This requires architects to be sensitive to the needs of a diverse range of users, incorporating features such as ramps, accessible restrooms, and assistive listening devices to ensure that everyone can fully participate in the life of the church. Beyond physical accessibility, it is also important to consider the symbolic inclusivity of church design. Creating spaces that are welcoming to people of all genders, sexual orientations, and cultural backgrounds requires a thoughtful approach to imagery, symbolism, and the overall atmosphere of the space. The goal is to create a space where everyone feels seen, valued, and respected, regardless of their background or beliefs. This commitment to inclusivity is not just about being politically correct. It is about living out the core values of compassion, love, and acceptance that lie at the heart of many religious traditions. By creating churches that are truly welcoming and accessible to all, communities can embody these values in a tangible way, fostering a more just, compassionate, and inclusive society for everyone. As we look to the future of church architecture, it is clear that the interplay between beauty, faith, and community will continue to shape the design of sacred spaces. New technologies, evolving social norms, and the changing nature of religious practice will undoubtedly influence the churches of tomorrow, leading to new forms, materials, and approaches to creating spaces that inspire, uplift, and connect us to something larger than ourselves. Yet, amidst this evolution, it is essential to remember the timeless principles that have guided the design of sacred spaces for centuries. The power of light to illuminate and inspire, the importance of silence for contemplation and reflection, the evocative potential of natural materials, and the enduring human need for connection, community, and transcendence. These are the enduring values that will continue to shape the churches of the future, ensuring that these sacred spaces remain vital, vibrant, and relevant for generations to come. The churches of the future will likely be as diverse as the communities they serve, reflecting a tapestry of styles, traditions, and beliefs. Yet what will unite them is the fundamental human desire to create spaces that nourish the soul, inspire awe and wonder, and connect us to something larger than ourselves. Spaces that remind us of the sacredness of life, the power of beauty, and the enduring human search for meaning and belonging. As we conclude our architectural journey through the history and significance of beautiful churches, we find ourselves standing not at an endpoint, but at a threshold. We have traversed centuries from the humble beginnings of early Christian gathering spaces to the soaring heights of Gothic cathedrals, and on to the innovative and diverse expressions of sacred architecture in the modern world. Throughout this exploration, one constant remains: the profound human need to create spaces that reflect our deepest aspirations, our longing for connection with something greater than ourselves, and our enduring fascination with beauty. Beautiful churches, regardless of their specific architectural style or denominational affiliation, stand as testaments to this enduring human impulse. They are tangible expressions of faith, crafted from stone, wood, glass, and light, but their significance extends far beyond their materiality. They are sanctuaries for the soul, offering respite from the clamor of the world and inviting contemplation, prayer, and a sense of peace. They are also vital centers of community life, fostering social connection, inspiring artistic expression, and serving as beacons of hope and resilience in times of adversity. The significance of beautiful churches lies not only in their historical legacy, but also in their enduring relevance to the human experience. In a world often characterized by transience, uncertainty, and a relentless focus on the material, these spaces offer a timeless counterpoint, reminding us of the enduring power of faith, the importance of community, and the transcendent nature of beauty. The beauty of a church is not merely superficial, it is deeply intertwined with its function as a sacred space. The soaring arches and vaulted ceilings of a Gothic cathedral, for example, are not just impressive feats of engineering, they are designed to evoke a sense of awe and wonder, drawing the eye heavenward and reminding us of the transcendent nature of the divine. The carefully orchestrated play of light and shadow in a Romanesque basilica, with its dimly lit nave culminating in the illuminated altar, creates a sense of mystery and anticipation, guiding the worshipper's gaze towards the symbolic heart of the Christian faith. Every architectural element, from the smallest detail of a carved capital to the grand sweep of a stained glass window, can be imbued with symbolic meaning, reflecting theological concepts, biblical narratives, or the values and aspirations of the community that built it. The intricate iconography of a Byzantine mosaic, the serene simplicity of a Quaker meeting house, the vibrant colors and patterns of a Latin American cathedral, these elements all speak to the rich tapestry of human faith and the enduring power of beauty to express what words alone cannot. This legacy of beauty, carved in stone, reflected in light, and woven into the very fabric of these sacred spaces, serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring human impulse to create something beautiful, meaningful, and lasting in a world often characterized by transience and change. The impact of a beautifully designed church extends far beyond the visual realm. These spaces are not just meant to be seen, they are designed to be experienced with all the senses. The scent of incense mingling with the fragrance of freshly cut flowers, the resonant tones of an organ echoing through the nave, the coolness of stone underfoot, the flickering glow of candles illuminating a darkened side chapel. These sensory details all contribute to the creation of a multi-layered and immersive experience that engages the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. Consider the acoustics of a well-designed church. The reverberation time, the way sound waves travel and reflect off surfaces, can profoundly affect the quality of music and spoken word, creating an atmosphere of soaring grandeur or intimate reflection. The silence, too, can be just as powerful as sound, offering a sanctuary for contemplation and prayer, a space for the still small voice within to be heard amidst the clamor of the world outside. This symphony of sensory experiences, carefully orchestrated by architects and artisans across the centuries, transforms the act of entering a church into something more than just a physical act. It becomes a journey for the senses, a pilgrimage of the heart, and an invitation to connect with the sacred on a deeper, more visceral level. Beautiful churches, while serving as sanctuaries for individual reflection and spiritual growth, also play a vital role in fostering community and strengthening the social fabric. They are gathering places where people from all walks of life come together, united by a shared faith, a common purpose, or simply the desire for connection and belonging. The design of a church can play a significant role in fostering this sense of community, creating spaces that are both welcoming and conducive to social interaction. A welcoming entrance, for example, can make a world of difference. A grand staircase flanked by statues might inspire awe, but a simple, accessible entrance with clear signage and friendly faces to greet visitors conveys a sense of warmth and hospitality. Inside spaces for gathering and socializing before or after services, such as a narthex or a parish hall, provide opportunities for people to connect with one another on a more personal level, building relationships that extend beyond the formality of worship. This sense of community fostered within the walls of a church can have a ripple effect, extending outward into the wider community through outreach programs, social justice initiatives, and acts of service. Churches have historically played a vital role in supporting the poor, the sick, and the marginalized, and this legacy of compassion and social responsibility continues to inspire communities around the world. The impact of a beautiful church extends far beyond its physical walls. These structures become woven into the fabric of civic life. They are landmarks, gathering places, symbols of shared history and aspiration. Imagine a town square dominated by the graceful spire of a Gothic cathedral. Or picture a modern church with its welcoming plaza, a hub of activity. These spaces transcend their religious function to become vital centers of community life. The beauty of a church is not merely skin deep, it is a reflection of a deeper dialogue between the human and the divine, a tangible expression of our longing to connect with something greater than ourselves. Throughout history, architects, artisans, and patrons have poured their hearts and souls into the creation of these sacred spaces, using the language of stone, wood, glass, and light to give form to the ineffable, to make the invisible visible. The soaring vaults of a Gothic cathedral, reaching heavenward as if in prayer, speak to the human aspiration for transcendence, our yearning to break free from the constraints of the material world and touch the divine. The intricate details of a carved altarpiece, lovingly crafted by anonymous artisans centuries ago, remind us of the power of human creativity to express the sacred, to imbue even the humblest materials with spiritual significance. This dialogue between the human and the divine, etched in stone, reflected in light and woven into the very fabric of these sacred spaces, continues to resonate with us today, reminding us of the enduring power of faith, the transformative potential of beauty, and the timeless human search for meaning and connection. The preservation of beautiful churches is not merely an act of nostalgia or a sentimental attachment to the past. It is an act of profound cultural and spiritual significance. These structures are not just relics of a bygone era, they are living testaments to the enduring human spirit, to our capacity for creativity, innovation, and a deep-seated longing for beauty and transcendence. As stewards of these architectural treasures, we have a responsibility to preserve them for future generations, not just in their physical form, but also in their ability to inspire awe, wonder, and a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves. This requires ongoing efforts to conserve and restore these buildings, ensuring that they are structurally sound and accessible to all. But preservation goes beyond bricks and mortar. It also requires us to keep the spirit of these spaces alive, to ensure that they remain vital centers of community life, sources of artistic inspiration, and sanctuaries for the soul. This means supporting the communities that gather within their walls, encouraging the arts and cultural events that bring them to life, and sharing the stories and traditions they embody with new generations. In a world often characterized by speed, noise, and a relentless focus on the material, beautiful churches offer a timeless counterpoint, inviting us to slow down, contemplate, connect, and celebrate the things that truly matter. They remind us of the enduring power of faith, the importance of community, and the transcendent nature of beauty. They offer solace in times of sorrow, hope in times of despair, and a sense of continuity and purpose in a world often characterized by change and uncertainty. Whether we are drawn to the soaring grandeur of a Gothic cathedral, the serene simplicity of a Quaker meeting house, or the vibrant colors and patterns of a Byzantine mosaic, these spaces have the power to touch our hearts, inspire our minds, and nourish our souls. They're an invitation to step outside the everyday, to connect with something larger than ourselves, and to rediscover the beauty, wonder, and mystery that lie at the heart of the human experience. May we, as inheritors of this rich legacy of beauty and faith, continue to cherish these sacred spaces, to find inspiration within their walls, and to share their gifts of peace, hope, and wonder with generations to come.